Hey everyone, Linus here. Today we're diving into the world of minimal server setups for WordPress. Now you might be wondering, why go minimal? Well, for starters, it's incredibly cost-effective. If you're running a small blog or a website with low traffic, a bare-bones server can be more than enough to handle it. It's like opting for a scooter instead of a truck when all you need is to zip around town. Now, it's important to understand that a minimal setup does come with its limitations. Don't expect to be hosting a high-traffic e-commerce site on a shoestring budget. However, for those starting out, experimenting with server management or running a non-critical project, a minimal setup provides an excellent learning experience and a cost-effective solution. It's all about finding the right tool for the job. Think of it like this: you wouldn't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut, right? Similarly, you don't need a powerhouse server if your website is just starting to find its feet. A minimal setup allows you to conserve resources and learn the ropes without breaking the bank. So, if you're ready to get your hands dirty and explore the world of server management, a minimal WordPress setup is a fantastic starting point. In the following sections, we'll walk through the entire process step by step, so you can get your website up and running in no time. Let's get started. All right, let's dive into the practical stuff. We'll be using DigitalOcean for our minimal server. They offer affordable droplets perfect for our needs. Head over to DigitalOcean and create an account if you haven't already. Once you're in, click on Create and select Droplets. Now here's where the minimal part comes in. Choose the most basic plan they offer. We're talking about the smallest RAM, CPU, and storage options. Remember, we're aiming for cost effectiveness here. You'll also need to select an operating system. I recommend Ubuntu, a popular and beginner-friendly Linux distribution. Next up, you'll need to choose a data center location. Select one that's closest to your target audience for optimal website loading speed. Don't worry too much about additional options like firewalls or backups for now. We can always add those later if needed. Finally, give your droplet a memorable name like My First WordPress Server and click on Create Droplet. Congratulations. You've just taken the first step towards setting up your minimal WordPress server. In the next section, we'll learn how to connect to our newly created droplet using SSH. Stay tuned. All right, let's get started with downloading and installing WordPress. First, you'll need to go to the official WordPress website and download the latest version. Once the download is complete, you'll need to extract the files. After extracting, you should upload the WordPress files to your web server. This can be done using an FTP client or through your hosting provider's file manager. Now it's time to start the installation process. Open your web browser and navigate to your domain. You should see the WordPress installation wizard. Follow the on-screen instructions to complete the setup. And there you have it. WordPress is now installed on your server. Now, let's move on to configuring Nginx and the database. First, we need to configure Nginx to serve your WordPress site. Open your Nginx configuration file and add the necessary server block for your domain. Make sure to include the root directory where your WordPress files are located. Next, we need to set up the database for WordPress. Log into your MySQL or MariaDB server and create a new database. Don't forget to create a user and grant them the necessary permissions. Once that's done, go back to your WordPress installation and input the database details. Save the changes, and your WordPress site should be connected to the database. Finally, let's set up a domain name for your WordPress site. First, you'll need to purchase a domain name from a domain registrar. Once you have your domain, you'll need to point it to your web server's IP address. This can be done by updating the DNS records with your domain registrar. Make sure to set the A record to your server's IP address. After the DNS changes propagate, your domain should be pointing to your WordPress site. To finish up, you might want to configure SSL to secure your site. You can obtain a free SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt and configure it with Nginx, and that's it. Your WordPress site is now live with a custom domain name. All right, now that we have our WordPress setup moving along smoothly, it's time to install some essential PHP modules. These modules are crucial for ensuring that our WordPress site runs efficiently and without any hitches. First up, let's talk about the PHP module called curl. This module allows WordPress to communicate with other websites and services, which is pretty important for things like fetching updates and integrating with third-party plugins. Next, we have the GD library. This one is used for image processing, so if you plan on uploading and manipulating images on your site, you'll definitely need this. Another key module is MBS string. This one is super important for handling multi-byte strings, which is essential for supporting different languages and character sets. And finally, we have the XML module. This one is used for parsing XML documents, which can come in handy for various plugins and features within WordPress. So let's go ahead and get these modules installed. Trust me, your WordPress site will thank you for it. Now that we have everything set up, it's time to test our WordPress installation. First, navigate to your site's URL to ensure it loads correctly. If you see the default WordPress theme, congratulations, your installation was successful. Next, log into the WordPress admin dashboard using the credentials you created earlier. Check if you can access the dashboard without any issues. Finally, create a test post to verify that everything is functioning as expected. If you encounter any errors, double-check your configurations and consult the WordPress support forums for troubleshooting tips. Performance is crucial for any website, and WordPress is no different. To ensure your site runs smoothly, consider using a caching plugin to speed up load times. Additionally, optimize your images before uploading them to reduce their file size. Another key factor is choosing a reliable hosting provider that offers good performance and uptime. Regularly update your WordPress installation, themes, and plugins to benefit from performance improvements and security patches. And don't forget to monitor your site's performance using tools like Google PageSpeed Insights or GTmetrix. When moving from a development environment to a production environment, there are several best practices to follow. First, always back up your site before making any major changes. Use a security plugin to protect your site from potential threats. Set up a staging environment to test updates and new features before deploying them to your live site. Ensure that your site uses HTTPS to encrypt data and protect user information. Finally, keep an eye on your site's analytics to understand visitor behavior and make informed decisions. To recap, we've covered the entire process of installing and setting up WordPress, from downloading the software to configuring your site and optimizing its performance. Remember, the key to a successful WordPress site is regular maintenance and staying up to date with the latest best practices. Don't be afraid to experiment with different themes and plugins to find what works best for your needs. And most importantly, have fun creating and managing your WordPress site. You've got this.